Hello everyone, today I'm here to share with you my Booktube-A-Thon TBR. If you're unfamiliar with the Booktube-A-Thon, it is a readathon that happens every single year. I want to say this is either the third or fourth year of the Booktube-A-Thon. I am sorry, I'm bad about that. I participated in the first Booktube-A-Thon ever, but since then I haven't been able to because I've had a kid and schedule just hasn't been right because I think having a kid and readathon just don't really mix well. But this year I decided it has been a long time since I've done a readathon, and it's been a long time since I've done the Booktube-A-Thon, so I really wanted to do it because I love the Booktube-A-Thon. I think it's just an awesome, fun experience that's so interactive and just fun to do, honestly. So this year's Booktube-A-Thon takes place starting this actual Monday, which is the 24th, and it'll last until July 30th, I believe. So it's a week-long readathon, and they'll have Twitter sprints, they'll have daily video challenges, as well as Instagram challenges, and they have Twitter sprints and things of that nature, which I should be hosting a few Twitter sprints, so that'll be really, really fun to do because I've never done that before, so I'm excited to do some. And you know, it's just basically read as much as you can within this week. So, and there are challenges that go with the Booktube-A-Thon. So I'm sharing with you today what books I plan to read this Booktube-A-Thon, because why not? Let's just dive in together and tell you what books I'm hoping and desperately hoping I read, because this is the last week of July, so I have to read these books because they're all, and honestly these are going to be a lot of repeats. I try to really work the books I put in my July TBR to work with the Booktube-A-Thon, and I'm so lucky that they did work out. So just to let you know, you're probably like, oh, I knew you were already reading that in July. What the heck? I tried to work them in because I'm sneaky and I really want to read these books in July. So let's get into the books I plan to read for the Booktube-A-Thon. So the first challenge is to read a book with a person on the cover, and for that challenge I chose Lucky in Love by Casey West. This has two people on the cover. One, two. Why not? Because, you know, I plan to read this anyway. This actually comes out on the 25th, I want to say. Yes, July 25th, which is right when Booktube-A-Thon really begins. I really want to read it this week because it's Casey West, and I know I can fly through it because it's a contemporary. Spoiler warning, a lot of these are contemporary. But that's the first book I'm reading for the Booktube-A-Thon, or that's the first challenge and the book I'm pairing with it. The next challenge is to read a hyped book, and for this one I chose Because You Love to Hate Me, which is the short story anthology of like villains. They have 13 tales of villains where each author is paired with a booktuber. I'm sure you've heard about this book a lot. It's been floating around a lot on Booktube, understandably, because it involves a lot of booktubers. So this is definitely a very, very hyped book, and I wanted to read it for the Booktube-A-Thon. I knew when I put this in my TBR that I was going to save this for the Booktube-A-Thon. I was going to work it in somehow because I've learned from Books and Lala to read anthologies during readathons. They're just easier to do. So I am doing that because I think she is a very, very smart and wise woman. The next challenge is probably going to be the toughest one I do, and that is to finish a book in one day. I can't tell you the last time I've read a book in one single day. 2 days is usually pretty good for me. Like, if I really enjoy a book, I can read it in 2 days, no problem. 1 day, that's a little bit of a stretch for me, but I'm going to attempt to do it anyway. And the book I'm choosing for that challenge is On the Fence by Casey West, my second Casey West book in this readathon. But I was planning to read them both because I wanted to do an author's video on Casey West. But this one is only 293 pages, which I think is very, very manageable for 1 day. Like, if I devote at least like probably a couple of sittings to this book, I can read it hands down in 1 day. So that is what I'm planning to do. Hopefully it'll happen. The next challenge is to read about a character that is different from you, and you can use this in any way possible. You can read about a guy when you're a girl. You can read about somebody that lives in a different state from you. You can read about somebody that lives in a time zone from you. You can read about someone that lives across the country. You can read about someone that has brown hair and you have blonde hair. They have to be different from you in some way. So I'm picking 2 books for this challenge because why not? The first one's going to be Lucky in Love. I'm doubling up on books. So that's how you gotta do it. You gotta be smart. It helps you out. But I'm picking this one because this girl wins the lottery, and that's not different for me. I don't know what is, because I don't think I'll ever win the lottery. So it's very, very different for me. The other one I'm picking for this challenge is Final Girls by Riley Sager. Is that how you say her name? This is all about kind of girls that have survived like mass murders. Like it's kind of like a take on like a horror movie trope of like this one girl survives, and that is very, very different for me because I have never like been in a mass murder situation. Hopefully I never will. That's a very, very scary thing to think about. Either way, these people in this book have been in, these girls in this book have been in a situation situation I hope to never find myself in. But either way, if I don't read this book for this challenge, I will have this to fall back on, because this is kind of my up in the air one of if I'm going to read or not. So that's what I picked too, because you gotta think about things. The next challenge is to read a book completely outdoors. Because I live in Virginia, and Virginia is a state that has a lot of humidity. We have a really horrible heat index. Like if it's 85 degrees, it'll say on my app that it feels like 100 degrees outside. That's how much our heat index is. So the thought of reading outside really doesn't make me happy. So I'm not excited for the challenge at all. Either way though, I still plan to do it because I am a woman that really like sets myself up for failure, but also really wants to try to accomplish a lot of things. The book I'm choosing for this one is also a repeat as well, and that is Because You Love to Hate Me. My plan for this is to stretch out these 13 stories within, oh crap, I did the math. I think it's like 3 stories a day, I think, maybe 2, something like that. So I plan to read 2 of them outside every single day, and they're short stories, so it's probably only going to be like maybe 50 to 60 pages a day, which is doable for me because it's going to be freaking hot outside that whole week, so I'm not looking forward to reading outside. So just the thought of 2 short stories, maybe 3 a day, I could definitely do. So I'm planning to do this one. And the next challenge is to read a book you bought because of the cover, which is probably half of my shelf, as well as a lot of booktubers. Like when you see a book cover, and when you see a beautiful book cover, you just can't help yourself. Like you're immediately drawn to that cover and that book because of the cover. For this one, I'm choosing Close Enough to Touch by Colleen Oakley. Look at this cover, it's so beautiful. Immediately what drew me to this book is the cover, and the reviews of it have been amazing. So I plan to read this one as well. It's a chick lit book, so I can fly through them. I'm sure you notice a trend. A lot of these books are kind of chick lit contemporary books, but I'm trying to be smart and I'm trying to be realistic with this Booktube-A-Thon and with this Readathon overall. The last challenge is the one that stays the same every single year, is to read 7 books. If you counted, I have not picked 7 books. There's no way that's happening. And I doubt all of these that I put on here are going to read, to be honest with you. I just don't see myself ever reading 7 books in a week. If I do, it'll be some sort of miracle. I picked 5 books. 5 books I think is a stretch for me. I think the best I've ever read in a week is maybe 4, honestly. 7 books is kind of a stretch for me, so hopefully I will do it. I will tell you right now, the majority of these books will be read in this week. I will definitely, this one I have no problem. I think I'm going to read, as well as Lucky in Love. Like I put 2 contemporaries on here because I know I can fly through the contemporaries. I have no problem with them being on my TBR because they are very doable. As well as Because You Love to Hate Me. I love short stories. They're going to be easy to fly through because you'll have 13 different, you know, short stories, and you won't get like sick of like the same plot because there'll be 13 different stories. So I know this one will definitely be read, as well as Close Enough to Touch, a chick lit book. I fly do chick lit just as with contemporary, so I know that'll be read. The only one I'm unsure of is Final Girls by Riley Sager. This is the one that's kind of up in the air of if I read it, maybe not. I think I can read it. I usually can fly through like thriller mystery books, and this is that. So I'm hoping, I am really hoping I can read all of these books. I have also put, as you can see on the back, the page count of each one of these. So this one is 339 pages, which isn't too bad. 306 pages, which again, not too bad. This one is 339 pages, not too bad as well. On the Fence is my shortest one, that comes in at 293 pages, and then we have Lucky in Love, which is 133 pages. So I did the math, and overall, if I read all of these books, I will have read 1,610 pages in 1 week. So that is my goal for this readathon, is to read these 5 books. Whether or not they will happen, we'll just have to wait and see. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am vlogging my Booktube-A-Thon progress. They will not be daily vlogs because I think that is just really unrealistic for me. Like I said, I have a kid and it's just hard to find time. I feel like I will be mostly editing when I should be reading, so I'm gonna put it at the end of the Booktube-A-Thon. So you're gonna get like a whole week vlog. And I'll be honest with you, it's not gonna be very interesting. You'll quickly learn that I am a person of habit because I have a kid, so we kind of have a routine down of what we do, you know, so it's gonna be probably really boring. So I just want to forewarn you that it's just gonna be a typical like mom vlog. It's just gonna be me taking care of my kid, reading when I can, doing house stuff. That's my life. So probably really boring. So just so you know, in case you're like really amped up for the vlog, don't be. It's gonna be boring. So just want to throw that out there for you. So either way, these are the 5 books I plan to read this readathon, and I hope I can do them all. I'm really hoping I can. Check back with me in a week, and check back with me in At the end of the readathon, I will be doing a vlog, like I said, as well as a wrap-up telling you if I accomplish all of these reading goals or if I have not. So if you are participating in the Booktube-A-Thon, please let me know which books you pick for the particular challenges. I would love to hear what books you're reading as well, and if you're participating or not, let me know, because I am very, very excited to do this. Like, I am really pumped up for it, so I hope you are as well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I will see you guys after the Booktube-A-Thon. Maybe with a smile, maybe with a complete face of tears. We'll have to see. Bye, guys.